that I've had the great honor of being endorsed by my father-in-law, President Trump, to co-chair the Republican National Committee. I got some fans in here, okay.
You know, they say that like the wonder has left the world, but miracles remain. Is it not insane that the most qualified person to head up the RNC was a part of Trump's family? I think that's genuinely insane. But anyway, that's Lara Trump, who is apparently getting into hopefully being the head of the RNC with a fairly specific mission. And it has to do with not with voters or with strategy or with candidates, but with money. And she's been very clear in her interviews that if she heads up the RNC, they could end up using hundreds of millions of dollars donated to the RNC to instead help Donald Trump with his legal troubles. Or sorry, maybe that's not her strategy, because it really depends when you ask her. Sometimes she's super open about it, sometimes not so sure. She did say on Saturday, we need to raise about $500 million between now and November 5th. We gotta make sure that people understand when they donate their money to the RNC, indeed it's going to go to causes that people care about, which I guess is Donald Trump and his legal trouble. Anyway, we've got more of her. Take a look at this.
We need to make sure that every penny of every dollar donated to the RNC is going to Donald Trump's campaign. What I can assure you is if I am there, I will make sure that every single penny donated to the RNC goes to electing Donald Trump and again, extending our lead in the House and taking back the Senate. Here's what I can tell you. The RNC needs to be the leanest, most lethal political fighting machine we've ever seen in American history. That is the goal over the next 9.5 months. If I am elected to this position, I can assure you there will not be any more $70,000 or whatever exorbitant amount of money it was spent on flowers. Every single penny will go to the #1 and the only job of the RNC. That is electing Donald J. Trump as president of the United States and saving this country.
We might have millions of people watching this show, but you can be the difference maker because we just need 1% of our audience to be paid members, and then this show can be around forever. So you can make that difference. Click join now.
That's all well and good. Stay tuned for 6 months, maybe a year from now when we do a story about how much money she was able to extract from that organization for her own benefit. But for now, maybe she won't. And look, honestly, the idea that you would take over the RNC and take all of their fundraising and just throw it into the black hole that is Donald Trump's legal defense, I'm not even entirely sure is legal, but assuming that it is, I'm not even saying that that isn't what the MAGA world would want. There's every reason to believe that they would be down for that. After all, they set up a GoFundMe for him that has already raised more than $1.1 million. Just from regular conservatives throwing $1 million at a literal billionaire for the fraud that has already been proven that he committed. And so, look, what Lara Trump is doing is fairly transparently corrupt, but that doesn't mean that that's not what the Republicans want. It also at the same time doesn't mean that that isn't really consequential for other Republicans, because she can tack on to her interviews that also we want to take over the House. But if you're throwing all that money into his legal defense, then you're not supporting candidates. And they have a 2-seat margin in the House. They desperately want the Senate. These goals seem inconsistent, Woz. What do you think?
They don't seem inconsistent for the Trump family. This is the grift that keeps on grifting. It just never ends with these people. If there is a way to siphon money off of the Donald Trump enterprise and their relationship with Republican politics, they're going to do it. And I would submit this to you guys. If you are a grown-up American person and you donate your hard-earned dollars to the RNC, you deserve this. You deserve to have your money siphoned off by the greediest grifter that we've ever seen. I feel no remorse for these folks. If the party apparatus is cool with Donald Trump's daughter-in-law running that entire system, then more power to them. They get what they deserve.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really hard to feel bad for people who are buying Trump sneakers, but just real quick for some context, the RNC, they want to replace Ronna McDaniels as the head of the RNC because the RNC is not raising money. They have a fundraising problem. They had the worst fundraising year since I think 1993, and they only have about $8 million on cash compared to the Democrats who now have $21 million on hand cash. and they pulled in less money than they have in previous years. And I think what Trump is doing now is he's saying, this is a problem. The RNC has a problem. I'm going to step in and fix it. We're going to make the RNC even Trumpier because I'm the only good thing going for the Republicans right now. One could argue that Trump is the thing that's costing the RNC money right now. All the Republicans know that Trump is a problem. They knew that he was going to be a problem back in 2015, whenever everybody from Lindsey Graham to Ted Cruz to Mitch McConnell were saying, if we let Trump take over this party, the Republican Party is going to be in trouble. And then they let that happen. And now he's trying to just take over the entire Republican National Convention. So this is a problem for the Republicans. And I think if they allow the Trumps to take over the RNC, it will be very embarrassing for them. This is even worse of a gamble now than it was even back in 2015-16 when Trump was first running for president in recent years, I'll say. But now he owes over $500 million in legal reparations. And we know that he doesn't have the money to pay any of this, right? That's not a secret. He had to ask Judge Engoron in one of his cases for an extension to put up the money that he owed because he didn't have the money. And he was denied that extension because he never gave a reason as to why he needed more time to the judge. He just says, can we please have more time? And the reason why these legal fees are so high for him right now, the reason why he owes $500 million in fees, or fines, I should say, is because the entire time that he was on the stand in various cases is he stood there under oath and said, I have billions and billions and billions of dollars. So they said, fine, if you have so much money, then we need to give you higher penalties. And that's why he's in the situation that he's in.